Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we are talking about Winter Storm Bankston. Now, Winter Storm Bankston is the most significant storm to impact California since late October, which is a little bit unusual. Now, this storm is going to be bringing feet of snow to the Sierra Nevadas and soaking rain in the lower elevations of California. This will most likely trigger flash flooding as well as mudslides with debris flows in areas that have been recently burned by wildfires. Bankston is officially the second winter storm to be named by the Weather Channel this season. Now, this storm was named because of two reasons. We had a Kona low, which is basically just a low outside of Hawaii, which dumped rain there, even a little bit of snow in the higher elevations. But that low pressure moved to the north and east, and now we have a low pressure in the Pacific Northwest that is driving moisture from the tropical Pacific into the southwest. Therefore, we have plenty of rain and snow currently in California. And this will be continuing through Tuesday, with most of the heavy snow occurring in the Sierra Nevadas, northeast of Fresno, basically Lake Tahoe, south of Lake Tahoe, as well as heavy rain, including LA and San Diego, as well as Las Vegas. Now, we could also see some rain or snow in Salt Lake City. They're right on the line there, so that's still a possibility as well. Now, additional rainfall through Tuesday. Parts of the southwest part of California, LA, San Diego, could see 1 to 2, maybe even in the upper elevations, 3 to 5 inches of rain. So light green here is less than an inch to an inch. You have this medium green here, that's 1 to 2 inches. Dark green, which is 2 to 3 inches. And then yellow, which is 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. Now, in terms of additional snowfall, we could see close to 5 to 6 feet, maybe even more than that in some spots of snowfall through Wednesday. Now, after that, we will see this storm move into the plains and could become a blizzard if things line up correctly. But right now, not really the case. To have a blizzard, we would need 1, snow to be falling, 2, we would need 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds, and 3, those 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds would have to be sustained for a period of 3 hours. Now, with this storm, we are seeing a trend that most of the stronger winds will be on the south side of the low pressure. Therefore, the snowfall, which is on the west side, may not get those 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds. So that's just as of now, and we'll get into alerts right now. So this is the National Weather Service page, and we're going to be taking a look at some of our warnings. So, winter storm warnings here are in pink. This includes most of the upper elevations of California, parts of Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Montana, even parts of Colorado. Then in purple, we have winter weather advisories, which includes Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado. Then we move on to our wind warnings. So, first up, wind advisories, which includes most of California, most of Arizona, the southern tip of Nevada, parts of Oregon, and Idaho. Then we have our high wind watches, which is in most of the Great Plains. So from west to east, we're going to start with Utah, Wyoming, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Now, finally, we have our high wind warnings, which is currently in parts of California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and parts of Wyoming and South Dakota. Now, these high wind watches could become warnings in the near future as the storm progresses into the Great Plains. So, here is the NAM, and we're going to be tracking this system through the Rockies and into the Great Plains. So, here is this low pressure. Now, as this low pressure continues to move onto the coast, we have that atmospheric river pushing moisture into California. That is what is causing all this heavy snowfall to occur in California. Now, as this low pressure continues to move to the east, we will see more moisture kind of dragged up behind it. That's where we get most of our snowfall in the Rockies. Now, as this low pressure progresses, kind of stalls out right around the Front Range, the moisture catches up to it, and then we start to see this storm progress into a plains storm. So we get that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico building up. That is where we get most of our moisture for this from. And then you can see here, very small area of snow on the back end. Some sleet, some freezing rain in there right along the boundary between cold and warm air. And then plenty of rain on the southern side. Now, as this storm continues to move out of the plains, you can see that these isobars, these areas of equal pressure, get very close. That is where our high wind watches come into play, as when these isobars get very close together, that means wind. Strong wind, the stronger the winds is how close they are. So, if they're really close, stronger winds. If they're more spread apart, weaker winds. So, we could see some very strong winds if they match up with snow and last for 3 hours or more. We could see some blizzard conditions in parts of the northern plains and the Great Lakes regions. But that storm eventually moves out. So Bankston eventually moves out of the plains and into Canada. So, in terms of snow totals, let's go first to the southwest. So, let's actually zoom in a little bit. Let's go to regions. Perfect. So, let's start off here with California. California is going to be the epicenter of the storm, and we could see, let's actually find it over here, 87 inches of snow. This is from, let's see here, this is about, let's just call it right around 6 o'clock Eastern time. So, subtract another 3 hours, about 3 p.m. Pacific on Monday. 2 all the way through Friday, 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific. So, 87 inches of snow are possible there. And, I'm not getting my readouts at the moment. So, let's turn that back on. It's just not doing it right now. That's fine. But it is possible here that we could see over 60 inches, over 5 feet of snow in California, in the Sierra Nevadas. So, you can see here, we also have plenty of snowfall in other areas, such as Nevada. We could see widespread 6+ inches in the more elevated portions. Utah, we could see 6 to 12 inches across most of the state. Arizona, we could see a little bit of snowfall as well in the higher elevations, maybe even up to 10 inches. The western portion of Colorado could see over a foot in the higher elevations. So this is just a Rockies snowstorm, and that is just about it. The lower elevations will not get the same amount of snowfall. Now, in terms of the Pacific Northwest, the Cascades could see 1 to 2 feet of snow. Then in the Rockies of Idaho and Montana, we could see at least a foot of snow in the higher elevations. Now, finally, let's move into the northern plains. Pivotal Weather calls it the north central region of the country. And you can see here that the snow totals are not that impressive. So most of the region is going to see less than an inch. This includes North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota. Some areas could see a little bit more than that, mostly 1 to 3 inches. Now, in terms of Minnesota and Wisconsin, so eastern Minnesota, western Wisconsin, they could see a stretch of 3 to 6, even 7 or 8 inches of snowfall when that storm starts to draw in more of that Gulf moisture. It crosses into the Arctic air from Canada, and then you could get some pretty significant snowfall. But all in all, this is just a strange start to the winter storm season. We didn't have our first named storm until last week, which was the latest ever that a first winter storm had been named. Now, just a couple days later, we have another one. Now, it's pretty common for one of the first couple winter storms of the year to be a Rockies snowstorm, as well as maybe even a Sierra Nevada snowstorm, but more commonly just going right down the Front Range. But in December, it's a little bit more rare. So it's been a strange year, and it's continuing. But that is all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell. That's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.